Hey everybody, Marcos Villegas here with Paulie Malignaggi. It's fight week. Sergey Kovalev, Andre Ward rematching this weekend on pay-per-view here at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, Nevada. And Paulie, the first fight was a controversial one for many because many felt that Sergey Kovalev won. A lot of that coming into this fight. What do you expect from this fight, and do you think it's going to be a completely different fight than the first time around?
I think it's going to be very much similar to the first fight. I can't see these two styles meshing any other way. I think it's going to be a similar fight where both guys have the skills to keep the fight a clean boxing match on the outside, but I don't see that happening because Andre knows that if you box Sergey for 12 rounds, Sergey is a good enough boxer to at least land some good shots. And you don't want to get hit from some good shots from Kovalev because it can end the fight. So I think Andre's intention will be always to make it a trench warfare kind of fight where you're mentally trying to fatigue your opponent and trying to get in his head. I think that's what he did the first time around. I think he's going to try to do that the second time around as well. You'll have some mixtures of the outside as well, of course. It's 12 rounds at 36 minutes. You can't fight all the way on the inside or all the way on the outside the entire time. But I do expect Sergey to be a little bit more prepared for the inside rough stuff, so it'll be interesting to see where that leads the fight. But I do see Andre trying to make it rough again, and so it's going to be close again.
Given that, do you still see it then as a 50-50 fight or something it's going to be like a split decision like the first one?
Yeah, I believe it's going to be a close fight, either close unanimous or a split, whatever it is, you know. I think a close unanimous and a split is pretty much the same thing. You know, it's just a matter of how each individual judge scores the fight. You know, it's a very close fight. The first one was a very close fight. And I think the second one will be a very close fight.
In terms of that, and looking at Andre and looking at Sergey, given that they've already had 12 rounds, is there any thought that should be given into that in terms of who can do what with that information already logged in with those 12 rounds already in the books from November?
Yeah, of course. You know each other a little better. You know what what the other guy knows how to overcome. Sergey knows Andre can overcome a knockdown and come back fighting. Andre knows that he can't spend too much time on the outside or else Kovalev will land, and he's got to try to make it an inside fight. I think those things stick out in your mind, and I think that kind of goes into the thought process of putting out a game plan for the fight.
So given that, who do you like in the rematch, and who do you feel you want to give it to if you had to give the advantage to?
It's hard because I feel like it's going to be the same kind of fight again, and in that regard, you're going to have a very close fight again. So I think it's a 50-50 fight, and you can flip a coin with how it's going to come up. It's going to come down to really how the judges are reading the fight again. I think it's going to be a lot of rounds where it's going to be close again.
In terms of the first fight, I'm just kind of curious now. Did you have it for one person or the other, or who'd you give it to?
I had Andre Ward winning, and and for me that was because a lot of times on the inside, I felt like Ward was the one trying to win the rounds, and he's the one. And Kovalev was a little bit more confused, and I think the intention, even if nothing particular was landed, more so than just showing the intention of trying to be a bully, showing the intention of showing your opponent you're the boss and you're going to boss this fight. For me, mentally fatigued Kovalev a little bit, but it also showed me that I had to give it to Ward on showing a little bit more grit in some of those rounds because they were that close, But I expect Sergey to be a little bit adjusted to that, so it'll be interesting to see how that makes the fight evolve.
Generally speaking, do you feel rematches are easier to approach, or are they a lot more difficult to approach?
I don't know. For me, personally, they were always easier to approach. I had a sense of what I was dealing with the second time around. For the most part, anyway. I think it's really comes down to the individual. It comes down to the style matchup as well. I don't think it's a particular thing you can say about rematches that makes it a yes or no answer.